Hello and welcome down to the Tech Desk, and in today's video I've got an accessory for the Nintendo Switch, and it is a replacement Joycon, and it is the COIORVIS phantomHD, and these have a lot going for them. They are fantastic. I think there's going to be loads of people that are going to be really interested in these. There's just a couple of things that I want to point out after I've been playing with them for, well, about the past 4 or 5 weeks I've been playing with these. Okay, so elephant in the room, you might be thinking, where's the Mobapad M6s? Yeah, I had a pair of them. The right hand one broke. Quality control stuff that I haven't mentioned. I've Googled it, I've looked at other reviews of them. No one seems to be having the problem I've got, so I've binned them. And that's hence why I managed to get myself some of these, because I think these are about as close as you're gonna get. So these are in the black. They also come in the white. I just want to talk to you about where you can get them from, because that's the problem I've got at the moment. Is really, you kind of want to buy them on Amazon if you can. You can't really. I'll show you where you can get them from. So as we've seen, this is the box that it comes in. So this is the COIORVIS, the 8816V HD, or the Phantom HDs as they're called. And the reason why they're called HD is because they have HD rumble, which we'll talk about. In the box, you're going to get these. You're not going to get anything else. Most of the time, so like with the Nixies and things like that, you kind of get a USB cable. You don't with that. And again, I should talk about why you don't get a cable in the box in a bit. So here they are then. Let me take them off and we can have a closer look at them. These, when you get them out of the box, feels superb. They are larger than Joy-Cons, so regular Joy-Con here. So as you can tell, they're a lot bigger, but they aren't as big as something like the Nixie, because they are quite slim. Look at that in size. If I get the measuring tool out. So if we look at the kind of the width of them from the switch to the outer edge, you're looking at about 5.3 centimeters. Regular height of the switch, kind of around 10 centimeters. But here we go. Here's the main point here. If you go and grab something like your Nixie or anything like that, go and have a look at how kind of thick they are. This goes down to around 31 millimeters, 3.1 centimeters, hardly anything. And really, these go down to 1.5, so about double the width of one of these. So these are a lot thinner, a lot more favorable for a lot more hands, because the Nixies, they go for big kind of adult-sized hands. These will be for adults and I'd say for children alike as well. And while we're here, we might as well get them weighed. 74 grams, okay. The left-hand one, 72, so a little bit less. So they're 48 and 72, so a little bit more in weight, but you don't feel that when you put them in your hand. They feel nice and light and compact, really do feel compact. So these are in black. They also come in a white version, but I think a lot of people are going to go for this black. I think this looks very sleek, and we'll talk as well when at the beginning of the video when you had them on the Switch. Just thinking it looks dead smart in the black. So here we have the thumbstick here. We have the minus button, the D-pad, screenshot, and we have turbo and macro there. So those two buttons down the bottom there. On the side here, we have which number player you are, the sync button, and SL and SR. So if you want to, you can play these independently. And as you can see, the LED, so it's flashing, so it has an internal battery. And then on the top, we have L and ZL, and then we have here, this is labeled M1, which is a separate third button on there. And if you spin it on the back, it has this lovely texture all over there for added grip. So let's talk about the thumbstick then. These are great. They're Hall effect, so the boffins at HQ tell us that we will never get drift on with these thumbsticks ever again. Time will tell, but it seems to be good. I've been playing it quite a lot recently. Haven't had any drift on them at all. I'll stick them on the Switch and we'll do kind of like a dead zone test later. The minus, these feel like regular buttons. So these three and this one just feel, yeah, like any button on the Switch. And the D-pad here. Now I understand the D-pads are a personal preference. This is okay. All right, so you've got your up, down, left and right, which is fine. Rolling, I couldn't really get to grips with. I'm rubbish at beat 'em ups anyway. I just don't think this is going to be very conducive to a beat 'em up. And if I show you how much it goes down, let's get that lined up. There we go. So it doesn't go flush, which is nice. And there's not too much movement on the other side. Nice and solid though. As far as D-pads go, it's middle of the road for me. Okay, on the top here we have the L, ZL and M, and this unfortunately is where I get a few of the negatives. Okay, these are really mushy. If you listen here, you can press it and you can hear the sound go, the click. But look how much I can press it without it clicking. Okay, same as this one. So here we go, we're going to press it, it's going to click. And then look how much it goes, look how much movement there is before it clicks. And then it clicks there. Similar with this one, in fact this one is even worse. This is the other one, this one goes around loads. And you can actually make it click before it registers on the Switch as well. So they're a bit mushy. In terms of real-time gameplay, I'll be honest with you, it didn't really matter because I was never really slowly pressing it because they're digital, on or off. I was just slapping the buttons. It's just they're a bit mushy, which is a bit of a shame. It would have been nice if these had just been tightened up a little bit more. Right, so moving over to this one, a lot more good news on this side. So the thumbstick's exactly the same. We'll talk about them in a bit. These four here are identical. Up here, again, very mushy, exactly the same as these ones over here. These are brilliant. These are four of the best buttons I've ever pressed on any Joy-Con alternative. They're mechanical, they're lovely and clicky, they feel like mouse clicks. They are brilliant. I love these four. Absolutely love them. My only issue is that B, it just looks a bit silly, doesn't it? That's my only issue. The A's, X and Y look as X and Y should. A's got a little dot in there, fine. B just looks like Y, I don't know. I just design choice there, I'm not too sure of. And again on the back, we have all of that grippy material, which is all nice and good. So the idea with these buttons then on the top here is that you can register these to be anything you want. I was playing about with them this morning trying to see if I could break it, and I couldn't. So I've set this one to R just for the purposes of the video. And so every time you press that, it would register as R on my Switch. You can change that with a series of button presses and mapping it. And you can also set turbo, which means turbo, if you didn't know, is a function where you can hold it down, A for example, and it would rapidly press A for you, or it would rapidly press it without you actually touching it. And also the macro as well, it can see a series of commands. So you set the macro and you do A, B, A, B, A, B. And then when you fire off the macro, it would do A, B, A, B, A, B. Okay, brilliant. If that's something you're interested in, this does it. Right, let's get it on the Switch. And there's something I want to talk about here as well. So when you put it on, I thought, when I got this back a few weeks ago, when I put it on, I thought, that's a bit stiff. Okay, it's new, fine. It's still stiff, so you push it on, it's quite tight and it's quite stiff pushing on, okay? That is a good thing, promise you, right? So again, with this one, it's still quite stiff on here, right? There is no way this is coming off, this Switch, at all. I've had Joy-Con in the past that easily fire off, and other third-party Joy-Cons that can easily fire off. This ain't coming off anywhere. And then check this out as well. Like, I have to properly bend this to get it to flex. The build quality, when it's sat on the Switch, is phenomenal. I think it's fantastic. Hardly any flex, very good. It just feels premium. And then while we're here, the kickstand at the back there, you can use that at virtually any angle you need to. Because again, a lot of the old bigger Joy-Con, they don't allow for that, but you can with these. Comfort-wise, I like a bigger Joy-Con just because I think it's easier for me to control them with this thing. When I'm going this, my thumb is going around or I'm having to use the bottom of my thumb. It's not hugely uncomfortable, but for long gaming sessions, it's just a bit tricky. With these, it's perfectly fine. You have your palms sat in the corner of your palms there, and then you're playing it with your thumb there. An easy reach for the buttons and the D-pad down there. Right, to pairing them, I did nothing but putting them on my Switch. As soon as I put them on my Switch, they registered. I didn't have to do anything or do anything pairing with them. They just went. And then let's go and have a look at some of the features. Oh no, sorry, before that, I just wanted to talk to you about the Joy-Con here. So we have them registered on the Joy-Con there, so the left and the right one, and the Switch in the middle. You'll notice that there are no USB ports on these. Okay, so these do not charge independently, hence why you don't get a cable in the box, which I mentioned earlier. So when you plug it in and start charging it, it charges up the Joy-Con as well. Right, let's go and have a look at calibrate control sticks. I do the right one first. Okay, so let's just knock it. Now, with the dead zone in the middle, it really is There is a little bit there, but that's not because it's moving the mechanism in the middle. I think that's just the thumbstick cap moving on top of the stick. Okay, so we'll let that one off. And then as soon as you move it, we're out to the edge now. And if I move it a little bit more, look at that little lot. Okay, so you've got, I'd say, around a good 3 millimeters dead zone on the outside of here. Okay, all the way around. If we get to the top, hit it there. Yeah, we've got another 3 millimeters, I'd say, on top of that movement on the other side. Go all the way around. Nothing, no, doesn't get stick on any of the angles as well, which is good. And as I say, no drift. So let's try and get it to drift. Yeah, it ain't gonna drift. Okay. Let's quickly do the left one because it's going to be identical. So a little bit of movement there, but I think again that's just the thumbstick cap sat on the stick. And then a good 3 millimeters or so on the outside there. But again, having played this on most types of games, they feel good enough. It's just the fact that they're Hall effect just means that it's not going to drift, which is just a massive bonus over something like the regular Joycon, which I've been through quite a few pairs that have drifted. Hey. So a couple more of the features. It doesn't have NFC, if that's something you're after. It doesn't have that, but it does have HD rumble, which is a massive thing for this. Now, if I just quickly talk about the HD rumble, it's not as good as the Pro controller because it's not as strong, but it feels better than your average third-party controller that just does the rumble. But again, it's not as strong. So kind of like your third-party one just goes up and down, just goes duh, 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 duh. This one, it does all the intricacies of the HD rumble, but not as much as the Pro controller. I hope that makes sense. It feels like a Pro controller, not as intense as one. I think that's probably going to be the best way of putting it. And it also has gyroscope as well, so really is quite accurate, nice and fluid and smooth on this one. So plenty of features on this thing, as you would expect. Right, so one last thing then is I've been banging through all of my cases to find out if some fit. If you have the TomTok one, this is for kind of like the Split Pad Pros, it does fit. It's just there's a little bit of wobble, but it's not too bad. So if I zip it up, it moves a little bit, but not too bad. So if you've got this one, I wouldn't have any issues sticking it in this one, the TomTok Split Pad Pro case. Nice and slim. This is a good one to get. If you've got the Nixie one, so this is for the Nixie Joycon. It does fit in. It slips around far too much, okay? So I wouldn't be using this one. So this is for the Nixie Joycon, so that's a no for that one. Next up, if you want a nice big bit of protection, this is the Mumba case, okay? This one also has the extra flap for holding it on, but if I put it in, it's a cracking fit as well. It doesn't press any of the buttons at the top there. On it goes. Yeah, not going to be pressing any of the sticks there as well. So that's a nice fit. So if you've got the Mumba case, yeah, that's a good fit for it, but it's a little bit big, hey-ho. But for me, the case that I've been using is this one, the Skull & Co case. This fits an absolute dream, okay? Look at that. So this is for the Skull & Co Switch grip case, and it just fits perfectly. It is a big one, okay? So you have got quite a bit of chunk to it, but you can carry some more. You can carry some more things with it, and it's plenty of protection. It doesn't move around at all. There. So for me, I would go for this one if you wanted a bigger one to take some more stuff, or this one, the TomTok one, for the Split Pad Pro, and I'll leave links for both, how you can get both of these in the description below. So there we go then, that was my look at this, the COIORVIS, the 8816 VHD, or the phantomHD Joycon. I think there is a lot to love about these, really is. Just a couple of the negatives about the spongy buttons, fine. I think if they were analog, I'd be having much more of an issue with them, I think, but because they're digital, they're fine. But they just feel like a quality pair of Joycon. Okay, let me know if you've got any questions regarding these. Do go and have a look in the links. I'll show you the best place to get them. Okay, please do like, please do subscribe. To the next video. Bye-bye.